Mr. Transformers 96 here. So in the video, I'm going to talk about a newly shown item at San Diego Comic-Con 2019. This time we have some Marvel Legends figures. They did their panel on Marvel Legends just yesterday, where they did show all of their comic-inspired series to come. We did obviously get to see the new movie series, but now we have a bunch of comic figures. In this video, I'm going to be specifically talking about the ones for the next Spider-Man wave, but they did show some from the X-Men wave. They showed a couple vehicle ones. They showed one Build-A-Figure from a Deadpool wave. I'll be making separate videos about all of that stuff, but in this video, just going to be talking about these four characters who are a part of the next Spider-Man wave. So this wave is okay to me. It has a lot of characters that I'm not super into, but it has one character that I'm dying for. To be honest, I did a few videos before Comic-Con talking about the stuff that I would most like to see, and I was gonna do another video talking about the comic figures from Marvel Legends that I would want to see the most. I never actually got around to filming the video, but I did write down a list for myself, and basically at number one on that list was a comic Vulture, and that is exactly what we have in this wave, which is quite nice, I will say. But the rest of the wave of the four figures that they showed so far are going to be Shang-Chi, the Velocity suit for Spider-Man, and then the Spider-Man armor Mark III. So you get two very odd Spider-Man armors, and then you get Vulture, which is a classic Spider-Man villain, and then Shang-Chi, which doesn't have a whole lot to do with Spider-Man, in my opinion, but nonetheless, he is pretty integral to Marvel at the moment right now, considering there is a movie being developed for him, so that makes him a little bit more interesting. But let's talk about the figures on display here at the convention. Here's Vulture looking quite nice. As you can see, the wings look really good. They look, very simplistic in their design, but this is supposed to be the classic Vulture costume, and therefore the simplistic wings match how he looked in the comics for his classic look. So I don't mind that at all. I think that it does look quite good, and obviously, as you can see, it allows him to bend his arms and to fold his arms and to still have the full wingspan, kind of no matter where you have his arms positioned, based on the fact that it's split up into two sections of the wing. The face sculpt looks really nice. I have to say, I really do like the face sculpt a lot. Obviously, 100% a new sculpt. I like the evil smile that he's got going, and he definitely looks very old, which is obviously accurate to Vulture. His little feather mane section around his neck I think looks quite good as well. My only big issue is some of the paint on him. He's got he's basically a dark green as the base color, and then he's got like this light green that's been almost sprayed onto him with some lining work done in just strategic spots. Now, for a classic Vulture figure, he should be a brighter shade of green, and he should have black lines going throughout the entire costume. So I would have much rather seen that. This way that they did it is almost very cheap. I don't know if they're like trying to do like a specific look for Vulture. I don't remember him ever having this type of costume. It just looks like a cheap way of doing the classic costume, so I'm not too interested in the way that they've painted the body, but the sculpt of the figure looks great. I really do like the hands too. Great expression there. Standard legs, of course. This is an X-Men character from the X-Men wave, but then here's Shang-Chi. Shang-Chi looks really nice. It looks like a totally new sculpt as well, which is very cool. I do like the muscular system sculpture on the body. I think it looks quite nice. And then the pants look very cool as well. They do look baggy too, which I like. It looks pretty natural. Quite a nice sculpt. Again, I'm not a big Shang-Chi fan, but because he has a movie in development and there's a possibility that the Mandarin might be the villain for the movie, which I'll be very happy to see them correct. One of the few things that I think the MCU did wrong, it would be very nice to see them correct it, and therefore I'm actually looking forward to his movie. But from a figure standpoint, it does look like a really nice figure too. And he will come with nunchucks, obviously. Do like the hand sculpt. I wonder if that hand is reused from the Iron Fist that came out quite a while ago. They came with just a million versions of hands. That does look like one of the hands from that, so it might be reused. And then here we have the Iron Man armor Mark III. I'm really unfamiliar with this style of armor. It almost looks like a game figure. It doesn't I can't picture this armor in the comics. I assume it's a comic figure though. The armor itself looks neat. There's a lot of really intricate detail throughout it, through all the pieces of the suit. There's some great texture in it, which is quite nice. So it looks like a nice figure. Just it's not a version of Iron Man that I think is very necessary for myself. But I'm sure that there are some big fans of this. But overall, he looks okay. He comes with a bit of a webbing kind of accessory piece, which is cool. It almost looks like you can wrap that onto villain figures, and it's like he webbed them up. So I actually do like that webbing accessory. I think that could be fun. But the figure itself looks quite nice, just not a costume for Spider-Man that I find super necessary, I will say. But it does look good overall. And then here we have the velocity suit for Spider-Man. Again, it looks more like a game suit than a comic one. This one I don't find too interesting, to be honest. It has a very simplistic look to me. I do like the fact that the lining on the spider symbol is actually sculpted into the suit. It's not just painted, so that's nice. But overall, the figure looks a little basic. And again, I don't have any connection to this version of the suit from the comics, so the figure overall doesn't look that fantastic to me. So as a whole, I think that this first four figures of the new Spider-Man wave is a really mixed bag, especially for me personally. I absolutely love one of the characters that they're doing in it, and it allows me to finally complete my Sinister Six. I do have a Vulture figure, but he's definitely not in his classic costume. He's in more of a modern style costume, so I've got all the rest of the Sinister Six in their classic suits from the earliest rendition of the team, and then I've got a Vulture that's like a little bit more modern, so he looks a little out of place. So to get a nice classic Vulture to go with that set is really great. Couldn't be any happier for that one. The two Spider-Man figures are not suits that I find particularly interesting. However, they do look like solid figures at least, so they've got something going for it there. And I think that at least the Spider-Man armor one is going to be a popular one. And then Shang-Chi is a figure or a character that I don't really care for, just because I don't know too much about him at the moment. However, I know that I'll probably like the character going forward as we get his introduction in the MCU. So therefore, that one I think that I'll probably find an appreciation for in a few years. So overall, this is a mixed bag for me. You've got some figures I'm very looking forward to, some middle class, and then some low class. We'll have to see what the rest of the assortment brings, as well as who the Build-A-Figure can be. They're starting to run out of obvious Spider-Man Build-A-Figures to do. I'm not 100% sure who they could even do without doing like a Venom Build-A-Figure, but they did the Monster Venom quite recently, so I doubt that they'll do that. Vulture and Dr. Octopus were the two kind of smaller scale figures that came with like big accessories that might be able to be put in as a Build-A-Figure, but they just did those two in regular series. They've done Kingpin, which everybody's been hoping for so long, so at this point they've done most of the Build-A-Figures that I can think of off the top of my head for Spider-Man characters, so we'll have to see what they end up doing as far as the Build-A-Figure is concerned, but hopefully it's a good one. We'll have to see. I don't know if I get this entire wave. The Vulture is a must-have for me, but the other figures aren't super necessary. I might get them depending on how necessary the Build-A-Figure is for me, though. But there you go. That's my thoughts on this new figure shown from San Diego Comic-Con 2019 of the Spider-Man comic figures. Let me know what you guys think of these four, and thanks so much for watching.